Hi everybody, how about joining me for a cuppa and a bit of sewing chit chat? I thought I'd bring you outside in the garden. I've got a cup of peppermint tea here and heaps of sewing plans, some new things in the shop, some things that I've got secondhand or given to me, which is just a bargain. I've got a book to show you also that I was given. I'm really excited about starting to read. Now, my name's Kristen. If you haven't joined me before in the Dahlia Society, this channel is all about sewing your own wardrobe, giving you fabric, pattern inspiration, and a bit of gardening inspiration as well. So I hope you can join me. It's finally stopped raining here for today at the moment. I shouldn't speak too soon because it's looking a little bit overcast. And I know a lot of people at the moment have been thrown into upheaval with the floods that are happening all over Victoria. It has been absolutely nuts. As far as I can remember, I have seen nothing like this. And from looking back at the history books, I think the year I was born, there was a lot of flooding, very similar, but I think this could be a lot worse as well. So I am very fortunate where we are, of course, here in the kind of South Gippsland area. We are all dry. I'm quite high here where our block is. We're heading up towards the hills, so we haven't had any flooding at all. We've been very lucky, but the garden is absolutely saturated, and you can see how lush and green everything's looking. That's one bonus to all this rain, is how beautiful the garden's soaking it up. But boy oh boy, what a mess a lot of poor people have got to head back to. So hopefully it all subsides soon. I hope you're all safe. I know a lot of viewers have actually got back to me that are over in Florida that have actually just been through the hurricane there and have actually let me know that they're okay. So thank you for doing that. I hope you're all managing to clean up everything. So let's get into some sewing talk, maybe to take your mind off all the world's current events happening at the moment. It is nice to be taken away with a bit of sewing talk. I find that YouTube channels that I watch really help me when there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, going on in your life that is not always good. So the YouTube can actually be a great friend, and I have got a lot of channels that I love. I'd actually love to bring out an episode one day to let you know the ones that I watch, and they're not all sewing. Meg, they're not all sewing channels. Some of them are gardening ones as well and cooking ones. So I'd love to let you know what I love watching. What to start on first? I've got plans, what I want to sew. I've got some new things in the store, and I've got a book that I want to show you. But the first thing I want to let you know is I was very, very lucky to be able to be given a second-hand overlocker. One of my daughter's friends, a friend of a friend, basically said that they had an overlocker back in before lockdown, 2 years ago now, and that they were happy to give it away, and was all forgotten about. And just recently she got back to the daughter and said, does your mum still want the overlocker? And I'll put it in your boots. And she brought it home, and I said to her, well, what is it? And she said, I don't know, I've got no idea, have a look. It was a Benina overlocker. Hell yes. So this is it, and it's actually looks like maybe a 1980s or early 90s model Benina. And I think it was from a grandmother who had passed away, and none of the family wanted to use it. They didn't sew. So everything's there. It's all in fantastic working order. I've actually been using it. It's surging like a dream. What can I say? How lucky am I? So when you have all the manuals and all the pedals and everything's there, it is, I'm just really, really fortunate to have been able to get my hot little hands on that. So very, very lucky. So isn't it nice to have something like that, a bit of a relic, and of course Benina. You wouldn't say no to a Benina. The next thing I want to show you, I know a lot of you love the new Pattern Emporium Take the Chance shirt dress. Now, that is a fantastic pattern if you are a newbie sewer to sewing collars and that kind of thing. Kate has made that pattern really easy. Of course, there's no collar stand, so great instructions there. But I know a lot of people are still very intimidated by buttons and buttonholes. So I thought I'd take the liberty of getting in love accessories. Now, I am going to do a little bit of filming showing you how I make my next shirt dress with these snaps. And of course, you need the Vario pliers to help you connect. These connect rivets as well, and snaps. The snaps here, I've got kits on the online store. This is a big kit, and of course you need to buy the pliers separately, but it has got room to sit them in there. And you can also buy the smaller kits and just the snaps themselves. So the snaps are fantastic, especially for people. I know a lot of people have issues as far as doing buttons up. You may have arthritic hands or issues with grip and that kind of thing. So snaps can be very, very handy for anyone, especially people with disabilities. Yeah, snaps are fantastic. Meg, I know you want to join in, but not at the moment. So yeah, I've got these listed in my online store if you're interested. And I'm dying to actually make the shirt dress with these snaps to see how I go with them, because as I say, I've never used them before. Heard fantastic things about the Prim brand ones. So really excited about these. And these come in mint and pink as well. So I will have them listed below in the description box as well. Now, before I head on into my plans for the next few weeks, I want to tell you all about a book that was given to me for a late 50th birthday present from my daughter Eliza. Well, her boyfriend Cam, his beautiful mum Karen, gifted me this beautiful book, and it was a really beautiful surprise because I did not expect it. And I know she doesn't sew, but the fact is that she's gone to the trouble to source this book for me. The Madame Vigal's The Woman Who Clothed the Australasian Colonies. And this is going to be a fantastic, fascinating read. If you haven't heard about Madame Vigal, she was actually a Polish immigrant who was a pattern maker. Basically, she bought the kind of paper patterns to a lot of Australian people. She had over 9,000 patterns. The lady who's written this book, Dr. Veronica Lampkin, she's actually done a lot of research. She's actually gone and unearthed all this fantastic information about Madame Vigal and how she bought paper patterns to the home seamstress. And I think it was between the years 1878 to 1969 that all these patterns were made. There was over 9,000 patterns. So this is the history of that, and I am fascinated to read this and see how it all came about. And that's just a lovely little message that Karen and Michael had written in there for me. But I'm fascinated to read this, and I know that Dr. Veronica Lampkin actually privately funded all the research into this book. She ended up sourcing one of the major book companies to help her print all of these. So I think it just goes to show the passion behind someone that unearths something so interesting and needs to bring it to the light of day and show the public how fascinating these people in history were. And it was all done in Melbourne, in Fitzroy apparently. So I think that's fantastic as well. So I'm going to let you know more about that when I read this book, because of course I'm only looking at what I've seen online and what I've read, little snippets. And I do know that Gabrielle from Cloth Edit has actually been to one of the exhibitions to see a lot of the patterns. So I think there was a couple of those moving around that you could go and see all about the history behind that. But how fascinating. So to think that people that needed to go to a seamstress years ago, before paper patterns were around, you'd need to go and source someone to make clothing, and to liberate people to be able to sew their own clothing with they called it the American paper patterns. So that's going to be a fascinating read. So I'm really excited about that. And of course, if you haven't jumped over to Gabrielle's YouTube channel, make sure you go and check out her beautiful makes on there as well. Also had another person ask me about this book, and it's one I showed you quite some time ago, maybe about a month or two ago now, the Textilepedia. That one is a fascinating read all about every single textile that you can get. Basically, it shows how it's sourced and how it's made and how it's woven, the countries it's sourced in, and predominantly where how it's made. I think it's fascinating. It's got percentages and compositions. It's really an interesting read. So if you want to learn all about textiles, that is the encyclopedia you need. I shall link these books in the description box as well, and that way it might be easy for you to follow the links if you want to purchase them too. But really excited to read that Madame Vigal book. And thank you for all your lovely comments every week. I really do enjoy reading them after each episode. Sometimes it takes me a while to get back to comment back, but I really love to hear what you're sewing. And if you're like me and there's more in your mind what you want to sew in the plans, it just keeps coming up with new patterns and new patterns and new patterns and then new fabric, and it gets a bit overwhelming. So there's a few things I want to make, and I'm going to step back now and think what I wore last summer and what I really loved making and wearing, and they're the things that I want to make. So another thing was that I wanted to show you, I had mentioned on the September pattern release episode, I think it was, the brand new patterns from So Different. The beautiful Laura from So Different has very kindly sent me 2 of her new patterns, which is just beautiful, paper patterns too at that. So I feel very, very sport to be given these and sent all the way from the UK. So thank you so much for that, Laura. She has sent me the beautiful chamomile caftan, which is in this gorgeous fabric godmother print. How beautiful is that? I love a good caftan for summer. I love a tunic length top even. The fact that you can get the tunic or the dress, I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but I love it in maybe a cotton lawn. And I know that there's a Fabric Godmother cotton lawn I'm looking at that's in the store. I'll have to wait and see. I'll have to think about that, but really love it. I love the detail and the pleating on the sleeve as well. And she also very kindly sent me this beautiful sunrise jacket, which is just incredible. Have a look at the detail on that. I really want to make one of these. And I really want to take inspiration from the packet envelope there. The fact that they've used a denim or a chambray with some lovely quilting metallic looking fabrics. I just think that would be so wearable. And there's so much work in something like that. It says its difficulty is quite, so it's sort of intermediate, not quite good. It's about a 6-hour make. So I like the detail on there they've given you. So you can kind of plan, maybe you could make that over a few days. Lined as well, which is really nice and easy. But fabric suggestions are things like cotton, denim, tweed, twill, drill, jacquard, heavy satin, raw silk, linen and wool. But I think that would be great for a spring, summer type of light jacket. So thank you so much to you, Laura, for these beautiful patterns. The next thing I want to make is a beautiful Dashwood rayon fabric that was sent to me from Dorada Davies. Now, Dorada Davies, you'll remember the pattern, where are we? The pattern, she actually got me to do a pattern test for her, and it was this beautiful Edith woven dress. And the fact is that you can make this into so many different outfits. It has elastic waist around the casing. The bird just flew past really close then. And you can either make the skirt top version or the dress with the elastic waist as well. But it's a great one for a building block for the wardrobe. I would love to make that in this beautiful Dashwood rayon. And a bit of a surprise coming soon if you love Dashwood rayons from the UK, Dashwood Studio rayons that is. I will be getting some in the online store very soon to tempt you all because I love the unique artwork on there. It's like a work of art. You're wearing a work of art on a beautiful woven rayon viscose fabric. So that is the fabric I'm using. The other thing that I thought might look nice is the new pattern from Pattern Emporium, of course, which is the Take the Chance dress. And did you also know that if you have the Meet You There dress from Pattern Emporium with that nice puff sleeve, you can interchange the sleeves of that with the Take the Chance shirt dress. So I'm thinking of doing the Take the Chance shirt dress with the puff sleeve, maybe one tier. I'll see how I go. But I want to use the snaps on it this time. So that would look really nice with that rayon, don't you think? So that would be probably quite a wearable kind of dress. And I love the fact that you can wear a belt with that if you want to cinch it in, or wear it nice and loose and floaty. So the Dashwood Studio rayons. They have the artists there. This one's Paper Jungle by Rachel Parker. So they do commission artists to do a lot of their prints, which is just beautiful. So hopefully that won't be too far away, that fabric, but I will always do a new video, a new vlog, try and get Mum to come on with me whenever we have new fabrics to show you guys in the flesh on video, because I do get a lot of people saying they love to see the fabrics that way, moving around up against the face and actually see the size of the print that way too. So that is one plan. Next plan I have here is this gorgeous Lise Taylor Birdie viscose print. Well, this fabric just flew out the door as soon as I got the first bolt in. It went within a day. You can see why, because it's really lovely, fresh looking. I love the fact that you can pick up a bit of that mustard colour or the white. There are buttons in the online store now, the Lise Taylor buttons as well that coordinate with that. But I've got a 1.5 metre piece here, and I would love to make maybe the assembly line cuff top. I think that's a really nice, simple pattern for showing a lovely print. So I'll see. There is one other blouse I have been meaning to make for quite a while now, and that is the Straight Stitch Designs Meadowwood top. It's has a beautiful gathered yoke, V front, button through, and a nice sort of a dolman style sleeve or a grown on sleeve. So that's another one I think would look beautiful in this fabric with a nice little button there. I do like a floaty blouse, so that is the other option for that birdie print. Gorgeous pansies. It's on the online store. It's a beautiful viscose crepe. It's lovely and floaty and billowy, and I can see that Pattern Fantastic Varley blouse in that one. So That is one I made last year, but this time I want to make it in the dress version. I think for summer it'll be really nice and billowy. So that is going to be happening hopefully in the next month or so. Now the other one I have it put aside for myself because we've sold out of it really, really fast. I've got another batch of it in the online store. It's the Viscose Linen Promise of Pansy print. Now this one I have got my eye on to make either the Rita shirt dress from Named Clothing. I think their Rita would be stunning. Last year I made it in a really lovely linen silk and it just was amazing to wear. It hasn't got a lot of volume. It's nice and more refined. It's a really it's a lovely dress to make and to wear. And I made it to my top 10, I think, or maybe my number 1 make from last year. So I don't know why I haven't made another one. I actually wanted to make one with a long sleeve for winter. I never got around to it, but love the way it's just simple. It has a drawstring in waist, button front, and nice mitered side splits there as well. The other one I'm thinking about for this is the beautiful new Harley pattern from Named Clothing, the new wrap dress, if I've got that as well to make. And I also have bought a wrap dress from Style Arc. I'll pop a pic up because the name's escaped me. That's another wrap dress too. So there is a bit of a hashtag coming between myself and Gabrielle. I'm not going to say too much more, but if you like a good wrap dress, stay tuned because I think you're going to really enjoy what's coming up. But we want to make sure we release our video so we can tell you all about it when the time comes. So I'm going to be doing a bit of a battle of the wrap dresses, I think, because there are so many out there, but there's a pattern that you kind of can't get enough of in the wardrobe. They're so versatile. They look beautiful and flattering on most body shapes and sizes, and you can really do so much with different fabrics for wrap dresses. But I think I could really see that for a beautiful spring summer dress. There are a couple more big 4 pattern shirt dresses that I have had from last year when we did Sewciety. Sewciety we've had to put off for this year, but we probably will be bringing it back next year. Gabrielle and I have been talking about maybe doing it every second year. We're going to see how we go with that. So the April blouse challenge will always be on in April, but the Sewciety we might be doing it sort of interchanging years. But these are 2 shirt dresses I bought back when we did Sewciety last year, and I still haven't made them up. The McCall's 8030 and 8031, and they are a little bit similar. One's got more of a yoke kind of a line, a bust line there. It's more ease through the body, and it's like a shirt tail style mandarin collar. You can do it with a collar as well. I really like that. And the other one is more of a kind of close fitting shirt dress. It would be beautiful in something like a linen as well. And there was also the Effie shirt dress from Michelle Sews. That's another one that I have got printed out and have to decide what to do because I've got so many options now with the linen viscose, what I want to make with that. But all I know is I want it to be some kind of shirt style dress. So they are my kind of tentative plans, to make, because I really do want to start getting into some sewing. I really love the look of those Mitchell trousers from Closet Core Patterns. And I know I say, oh, look, I'm not really into making pants, but whenever I've seen them on, gosh, they look beautiful. I think that could be on the cards for a future make as well. Maybe in a nice viscose twill or something like a tencel twill. Even a nice linen rayon would be lovely. I did a little Instagram poll seeing if you guys are interested in seeing some solids, either in linen viscose blends or linen cotton blends. And a lot of you have said you are really interested, especially if I'm making things like basic bottoms. So there's a few pants that I'm putting on my list, and I'm going to be bringing out a pants episode, pants that I've made in the past that I've loved, and ones that I also want to make in the future as well. Things like having, a nice linen pair of pants and a nice lightweight linen blazer. You can interchange with blouses and t-shirts. They are really nice and handy and wearable for all year round, but especially for heading into spring and summer as well. So I think that was all I had to tell you guys. I'm going to leave you with some lovely images of the garden looking very fresh and green at the moment. I hope you all have a wonderful sewing week. We'll catch up with you all soon. Bye for now.